Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, just raise your hand. You don't have to talk. Or on the chat, indicate that you can hear me. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. My name is Rachel. I'll be taking you for this session today. So I just opened the camera to greet you so that you can see that you're not speaking to a spooku. You are speaking to a person. Otherwise, I think I'll close my camera as I'm presenting so that it will not interact with the class. So thank you so much. Okay, our topic today is for bank reconciliation statement. What I will do is I'll just give a background of what is bank reconciliation and why are you doing it, and then analyze a question. From there, when we do the solution, my other colleague will then share a solution and then discuss a solution further with you. But for now, I'll just give an overall that why are we doing bank recon and why it's so important. Okay, I think firstly on one of the sessions that please go and listen to the video recording that is in this session, because it will tell you then about the controls and why it's important to have the controls for cash, because you are handling cash, you are handling the bank account, so there must be controls around that. I will not explain the controls, but rather I'll just go straight to the bank reconciliation on why are you doing the bank recon. So I'm not sure if the session is recorded or not. I've not seen any message. Please, lecturers, they must indicate should we record or not, or they will record. But let's continue. So you have done the books of prime entry. That is your cash receipt journal, your cash payments journal, and your petty cash, and so on. So when you are doing those books, you are recording the transactions that were happening. So if you then had to buy certain things, you then record your payments or cash payments journal. When you are paying, you have to, sorry, when you are buying and paying, you are recording it on cash payments journal. But when you are receiving any cash, you are recording on cash receipt journal. So the cash, like for example, your debtors, when you have sold the goods on credit, and then your debtors are paying. When your debtors are paying, that is a cash receipt then. So they can pay via, we still use this terminology, but in reality, there's really no checks. We are now using the FETs. But however, you'll see a lot of checks in this because we're still using that terminology. But also don't be confused when now, because there is not so many companies that are still writing checks at this current time. So we are using the FETs now to make the payment. However, you still looking into the same processes. Okay. When you are then recording all your transactions on the book of prime entry, you then post to the bank account in your books. So that you are doing in your company, in your books. You post what your payment, you post the bank balance that you had previously in the previous year from, or the previous month, if you're doing it month to month. So whatever balance that you had in your bank account, in your books from the previous month, you post that, you open with that balance. And remember, when you are doing accounting equation, you then had to classify. You remember that bank is an asset, so assets, they increase on the debit side. So if you have a positive bank balance, then it will be on the debit side. But if it's an overdraft, it will then be on the credit side. Then you have your payments on the credit side, you have the receipts on the debit side, you then balance the bank account. So when you balance it in your books, You're supposed to be having the same balance that is in your bank statement then. When you take your bank balance on your bank statement, in your books, and you match it against your bank statement, you're supposed to have the same bank balance. However, there are discrepancies. When you read your study guide, they tell you what are the things that cause the discrepancies, why the bank balance in your books is different from the bank balance in your bank account, in the bank. So that is what we are trying then to reconcile. So that is the reason you are reconciling, because you are trying to see why I'm balancing, I'm not balancing back. So there might be a few things that we've explained that we did discuss before. There might be things like you wrote a check to someone or to pay someone, but he did not take it to the bank as yet. But in your books, you have recorded that I've paid this person. So then you have recorded that your bank balance should be lesser with that amount that you've written as a check. However, because this person has not presented it to the bank, then it's not out yet in your bank. Then it will cause a discrepancy. You can also write a check that was dishonored, or maybe it was stale, they stayed with it for a long time, or there was not enough money in your account. So those, they can be dishonored, and then you find that in your books you have written that you've written the check while the bank has rejected it. You might have the discrepancies of someone that was owing you. They just paid directly to the bank. You have not recorded in your books that you've received the payment, because remember, when you are receiving any amount from the debtor, you record it in your cash receipt journal as a receipt. But however, if it has not reached your books, is just paid in a bank account, it then now causes a discrepancies. You also using the bank on daily basis, or whenever you're doing the transaction, there are bank charges. So you have not recorded them. That is why they then now cause the discrepancies. So that is very, very important that you look. There can be errors as well that might happen, that you paid something, but you recorded differently. So those are the things that are causing discrepancies. So what is important then is to know that the discrepancies that are happening in your books, what to do with it. That are happening in the bank, what to do with it. Because you can then look into your books and say, no, I'm correct with what I've done. But the bank, you need to correct this. You have to know then that where do you correct, which one does it go to your bank reconciliation statements, which one does it go to your books as the correction. The next step that I want to talk about, I then now want to talk about, you then now have, in this example, we did analyze everything. We told you this did not appear there on the bank statement. This was not on your cash journals. This was the errors. These were the balances. But sometimes in this question, you can have the full cash receipt journal. You can have the full cash payment journal. So you can have the bank statement where you have to be checking yourself what did not go there and what has gone there. So the first thing that you need to look at before you look into your books, you must look into the bank recon that was previously. Remember, this bank recon, as you are looking at it, as I'm showing, so this was the balance as per the bank statement that was showing. And there was an outstanding deposit. This outstanding deposit, you were correcting the bank. You were saying that this amount, you did not record it. So please record this amount, because according to my books, it is correct. You also had an error that was happening in the bank statement, and you had a balance per bank statement. So every time, the first thing, compare your bank recon with the bank statement before you go to the books, because That you must then see if the bank has corrected that. Because on the bank statement, they did not include that. So you in your books is there. Whatever that is there in your books, and it's not showing on the bank statement, you then now say to the bank, hang on bank, correct this, because as per my books is correct. But what is in the bank statement that is not in your books, you come and correct your own books. So it is the other way. It is the other way around. That you look into this bank recon. In the bank recon, it was what the bank omitted. You then now look at the bank statement and check if it was included then in the bank statement. So that is the first process. Then, if this one, it was only the check, if it was an outstanding deposit, you then now look into the outstanding deposit and the outstanding check, if they do now appear on your bank statement. That is the process. The second one, the second part, after you've checked your bank recon, you then now take your books of prime entry, your cash receipt journal, your cash payments journal. You compare your cash receipt journal. You'll be comparing to the credit side of your bank statement. In your cash receipt journal, you look into your total. You check from the first amount. You go to the credit side of the bank statement. You tick all of the amount. You see which ones do not appear that are in your books, but they are not in the bank statement. You compare the cash payments as well. The cash payment, you look into the debit side of the bank statement. You compare if what is in your cash payments total, does it now show on the bank statement, but you look into the debit side of the bank statement. You tick and badge. You see on other, please go to the revision exercises or to the questions in your bank recon in this unit and see what they did when you are given the bank statement and the when you are given the bank recon, you are given the bank statement as it is, you are given the cash receipt journal, you are given the cash payments journal. You look into the process as I've explained. Because on this one, we have done an exercise for you, and then we have summarized everything here. That is why we then now just going to read this, and you go and say that where this must go. So this, the bank statement, they reflect the following items, but the following items that did not appear on your cash journals. So remember, the first one, they say correction of an error. This bank statement, it shows now on the bank statement. So when you see the bank statement, this 120, they were correcting an error, but that error, we've already processed it on our books. So with this 120, you don't have to do anything, because whatever that is showing on your bank recon, it means it was already in our books, but the bank had omitted it. So then it was correct. The 120 was correct in our books, but the bank had omitted it. So they have it now. So which means it is now correct. There is nothing that you will do with 370, with 120, because it is correct. The 120, sorry, the 370, the 370, it was an outstanding deposit. Remember again, I'll keep on saying so that you to read in your head. What you put in your bank recon, you are saying, bank, correct this, because in my books it's correct. For the reason that it's here as 370 on the bank recon, it means in our books it was correct. So the bank has processed it, it is correct again. So you will not do anything with that because it is correct. You come to the next one. There is a deposit that was made by another client. This one, there is a deposit. It is showing on the bank statement, but it's not on our books. So we will have to correct this because as per bank statement, that's what they say, the bank statement reflected the following. It shows on the, which means this person just went to the bank and paid. And in our books, it's not there. So the deposit, it then must show then in our books. The commission on card transaction of 28.7 service fee, the 36, the interest and overdraft. I told you that no one does the books and say, let me record what the bank is going to give me as charges. You wait until you get the bank statement. We got the bank statement. These are the transaction fees that the bank has charged us, and it must be in our books. Then the debit order insurance premium, it was also processed, or it happened on the bank statement. They debited it, but we have not processed it in our books. The direct deposit by the debtor T biller, it's 350. It was also on the bank statement. They just deposited, but it did not show in our books. So remember that anything that is reflecting on the bank statement, but not on our books, then we correct our books. Bank statement for 20 reflected the following items, but these items did not appear on our cash journals, then correct your cash journals, not the bank statement. This does not go to the bank Recon, it goes to the books of the company. The direct deposit of 200 by Jane Matla for rental, it also must go to our books. There was the B part. So the B part, we're going to be correcting our books. Then the C part, the cash journals for May 2028 reflected the following differences from the bank statement. So this is what is happening then now. So this is on our books, but the bank statement did not have it. What we recorded, and it's not on the bank statement, it must be corrected on the bank Recon. So this deposit, it will be on the bank Recon. And then the amount of 250 that was paid directly into the bank account of care of Botumelo Daycare as a donation appeared in the bank statement. The bookkeeper entered the amount of 520 in the cash payments. An investigation showed that the cash payment request was actually 250. The mistake needs to be corrected. So this, what they did is, there was 250. So it was paid directly. It appears on the bank statement. However, in our books, it has an error. So it must be corrected. Then you are given the totals. If you are not given these totals, you will have the cash receipt journal, and then it will show the totals. You'll have the cash payments journal. It will then show the totals. And you'll have a proper bank statement. It will show a total. And this, you can see, they say this bank statement, it has an unfavorable bank balance. So you must then know that if you have a favorable or unfavorable, how do you treat them on the bank statement, on the bank Recon? You'll see when you are doing that. So you're required, it says complete the cash receipt and the cash payments journal, then show your bank account properly, prepare the bank Recon. So this is what we will be doing on this. So we will present the solution now. I will go after, or I will come after the solution has been presented by my colleague, and wrap up as well and summarize what I've explained here, and then I'll summarize it after he has presented. So for now, I will stop sharing so that he can share there's a hand, is a long hand before, or the hand for now? You can put on the chat.
Okay, good evening, Rachel.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, students. My name is Joseph Sitole. I'm the acting academic coordinator. So what I will request you to do, let's allow the e-tutors to do the presentations. Then once they are done, then we'll open up for questions. For now, I will allow the next tutor, which is Mr. Ngai, to present the solution for you guys. And then thereafter, we'll open the mics so that all the students who have questions, then they can ask the tutors. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Ngai,
Thank you.
can you please project your presentation?
Mr. Ngai?
Good evening, colleagues. Mr. Stolle? Mr. Sitole? Oh yeah, Mr. Ngai joined, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Mr.
joined.
Mufakwane.
He joined now. He joined the class.
Yeah, I was actually assisting him to project. He was unmuted. I'm sorry, muted, so he couldn't present. So, but now it's fine. He's clear to go.
Good evening, students, and thank you, Mr. Stolle, and thank you, Sis Rachel, with your presentation. As per, am I audible? Before
Yes, sir.
I roll out and
Yes.
roll out, and only to find out no one was hearing what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Matsia Dwensengai. I'm the current tutor for FEC 1502. Yeah. My colleague provided a good brief of what bank reconciliation is all about, which is good. My only item that I will be presenting is the suggested solution that I will present. I've put the suggested solution on Excel because the Excel, it's easier for one to move between the two items. Then, as per my colleagues, let's just go back to what is required from us so that we are able to understand and be able to maximize the time and be able to get the maximum marks. You are asked to do the following: to complete a cash receipts journal and cash payments journal, to show the bank account properly balanced, and the last one, to do a bank reconciliation. Where do we start? We will start with the amounts that are easily available on the question, which are easily provided. When you look at point E under the balance and pencil total at the end of May 20.8, you are being given those numbers. You are being given the cash receipts journal, which is 8549. You are also being given the cash payments, which is 1342 8.7. So let's go to the Excel sheet or suggested solution to see how we put those amounts. Okay. You have your cash receipts journal, which is the subtotal. You have the cash payment, which is the subtotal of 13,428.7.
Mr. Ngai,
Sir?
sorry, can you please enlarge your screen a bit? Students are saying they can't see
All right.
the numbers.
Okay, what did I do? What did I do? All right, let's, okay. All right. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better for me. I hope the student, yes, they do agree.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. Humble apologies for that. All right. I was saying these are the numbers that you are being provided with. The subtotal of cash receipts journal of 88549, which is this one. You are also being given the subtotal of cash payments journal, which is 13,428.72. Then you are done with these two. Then let's go back to what is required. He said we must do the cash receipts and the cash payments. And my colleague, Sis Rachel, explained to say there are items that will be in the bank statement, but those items are not in your primary books. Now, let's go and look which accounts or which items needs to go to the primary books so that we are updating our cash receipts and cash payments so that we are able to close it off. Let's go. You see on point B, the bank statement for May 20.2 reflect the following items which did not appear in the cash journals. When you look at item bullet point number 3, the commission on cards transaction, which is 28.50 for service fee, 36.40, which is for services, and the interest on overdraft of 19.8. All these items, you now need to bring them to cash payments journal. Why the cash payments journal? Because these are items that the business incurred throughout the month. Now we need to record them in the cash payments journal. If the interest that you are seeing here, it had said the interest and doesn't say on the overdraft, it means that it's the interest that the business earned. Then we're going to record it in the cash receipts journal as received income. If you look at here, I've included the bank charges, which is 28.50, 36.40, and it gives me 64.90. The interest as well on overdraft of 1980, there it is. It is the interest that the business is paying on the overdraft amount, meaning we've borrowed the money from the bank. Now we are paying the interest on that overdraft. Then it says on the bullet number, on bullet number 5, a debit order for insurance premium. Now you bring the insurance premium. Is the insurance premium that we need to acknowledge that we are paying it and it needs to come to our books. Then we have a direct deposit of a debtor, Mr. Bila, who paid us 350. Now we record it in the cash receipts journal here as 350. Then they are saying a direct deposit of 200 rent for a rental by Mr. Matlala for rental. Because it's an income, we record it in cash receipts journal. Here it is, 200. Then they are saying on number D, an amount of 250 that was paid directly to the bank account of Bootmelo Days Care as a donation appeared in the bank statement for May. The bookkeeper entered the amount as 520 in the cash payments journal. After a thorough investigation, it shows that the cash payment request was actually 250, meaning there was an error that happened. Now we need to correct that. How do we correct that? We're supposed to only pay a certain amount, not 520. We're supposed to pay 250. So we are saying the donation, the difference between 520 minus 250, we are left with 750. We are recording it back to our cash receipt journal. Now, you look at all the transactions and see if there are any item that will affect the cash receipts or the cash payments. If there is no item like I'm seeing that affects either the cash receipts and the cash payments, then you close off, you total your cash receipts, which is 9369.09. Then you total your cash payments, 13803.42. Then you go back to what is required. I was asked to show the bank account properly balanced. Then we come to the bank account. The bank account has the debit side as well as the credit side. Remember, while Sis Rachel was explaining, she also explained to say through your, if you remember, through the what we call accounting equation, you need to know which account is being debited, and if it's debited, it increases on which side. If it's credited, it's reducing on which side. So the bank being an asset, it increases on a debit side, meaning if this business of Buala receive money, it will come to the debit side, which increase the received money. The amounts that we pay will come to the credit side, which is the side that we are paying. Apology for that error. It's supposed to be 1A, not AA. But before we go there, we must also go back to what Miss Rachel was saying. We have been provided with a bank Recon at the beginning, and the opening balance or the balance of that bank reconciliation was 221460, and it says a debit balance per bank account. Here is the debit balance per bank account. When you total your credit side and the debit side, you will realize that your credit side is bigger than your debit side, meaning you have now a balance carried down of 2219.73. Then you take it back and say balance brought down, it becomes 221973. Now you've closed your bank as per the instruction. Remember, the instruction on the required side show the bank account properly balanced. The last part that they've asked us to do is to prepare the bank reconciliation statement. You go to a bank reconciliation statement. The bank reconciliation statement, it also has the debit side.
Mr. Ngwai, sorry,
Yes,
sorry to interject. A number of students on the chart there, they say they can't see. I'm not sure whether, can you move in between the question paper and the answer sheet?
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, Audi. Let me just go to, let me come out here. I close this. Maybe let me come and open this one and enlarge it so that everyone can see the bank reconciliation. And before I continue, and that is thought, did they make their point from the bank account, or when I was starting bank reconciliation so that I don't leave them behind?
I think I see I think it's when you were doing the bank recon, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's just enlarge it. And let me put it to this and see if, all right. And let me see if I can get, all right. Are they able now to see the
I hope they should, I can see,
okay.
so the majority should be able to see.
All right, can I just see the thumbs up to say we are together? We don't want to leave anyone behind.
Yeah.
We want to pass this module 100%. We want that. All right. Now, remember, they've asked us the last week to say, prepare the bank reconciliation statement as at the 30th of May 20.8. Remember, whilst Rachel was explaining to you, she said, bank statement has unfavorable balance. The debit balance, which the bank has, it is this, the 3579.3. And when you go back to point C, it says the cash journals for May 20.8 reflects the following difference from the bank statement of May. Deposit not yet entered by the bank, meaning now we must now go to bank reconciliation and put the deposit not yet credited by the bank on the credit side of the bank reconciliation, which is 1450. Now we come back and say there was a deposit made by another client of the bank. Then we need now to correct it. We're saying the deposit incorrectly deposited by the bank, which is 90. When you add the debit or the credit balance from the bank, where does it come from? When we add the balance from the bank to your bank reconciliation, which is the credit balance of 2219.73, you come to 3669.73 on your credit side, and on a debit side, you also get 3669.73, meaning now your bank reconciliation balance. Let's recap. They've asked us to do what? A cash receipts journal and cash payments. They've asked us to do what? A bank balance and properly, a bank account and properly balance it. They've asked us to do what? A bank reconciliation, and we've done that. I will stop there. If there are any questions, Mr. Stoller, we will gladly welcome them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that presentation, Mr. Ngai. Mr. Mahokon.
Yes, Mr. Stoller.
Yes, I'm not sure how are you going to handle this.
We are taking questions now.
Yeah, do you deal with the question on the chat first, or you
simultaneously?
Students?
Because Marisa is around. We deal. Yeah, we can do both on the chat, and also we can take hands.
Okay, just for noting, Mr. Ngai and Mekoza, there was a question from students. I think 3 of them. They were asking about the 90 rand. If you can maybe explain what happens with the 90 rands. It looks like they were not clear with that calculation. Mr. Ngai, you can unmute yourself. Okay.
Yes, I'll allow Miss Rachel to take it and then I'll come after her.
Okay. Ms. Koza?
Sorry, I'm talking muted.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, let me put back the question. I'm sharing back the question just now. Why it's refusing now?
Or maybe
Am
if
I
Ms.
sharing?
Chinai can assist with
Am I
sharing
sharing?
the question. It's not yet visible.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now it's fine.
Okay. Remember, first I'll go back to the question and explain the principle. Okay, when we go back to the transaction, remember that whatever that was, they're telling us that it was recorded in our books, but not on the bank statement. If it's in our books, it's not on the bank statement, then we're supposed to tell the bank to correct it. But however, you need to check as well on the dates of the transaction, on when the transaction had happened. That is why you can see that this one was incorrect deposit. Actually, when you check the question, we had said we had said everything that is here. This deposit, if it was correct, it was our deposit, we're gonna take this to the books of our books, because what is in the bank statement and does not appear on the cash journals, we must correct it on the cash journals. However, this one, they're telling you that it was made by another client of the bank. So it was not relating to us. So we cannot then put it in our books as much as everything that is in the bank statement that that is not showing on our books. We're supposed to be put in our books. But this was an error. So it was showing on the bank statement. However, there's a statement that said made by another client to the bank. When you go to where we corrected it, rather we corrected it on the bank statement because we debited an incorrect deposit on the bank statement. When it was deposited, it went on the credit side. So we need to reverse it. So this is an exception. If it was a correct deposit, you are going to put it in our books because we are going to say the client of ours paid and we did not have it on our books. But in this matter, that 90 Rand was an error because someone deposited on our bank account by error. So then we are reversing that. Hence, it's showing on the bank reconciliation statement. I'm not sure if, does it make sense? Does it answer your question?
Okay.
All other deposits, as you can see, this direct deposit by T-Pillar, we took it to our books, but it was a correct deposit. It was for our client. This one was an error that it was for another client of the bank, not us.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Koza. Students, just by way of thumbs up, please indicate whether you are covered, and then we can open the mic for other students. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now it looks like they are all covered, colleagues. Cool. Okay, we will then open the mics. I think the first one is going to be Katlego Santi. Katlego, you may unmute yourself and ask your question. Katlego?
Good evening.
Evening.
I don't have any questions. I raised the time in the beginning of the class.
Okay, okay, thank you.
I don't have
you.
any questions.
All right,
Thank
nice, fine, thanks. And then the next one will be Machidiso. Machidiso? Okay, Machidiso didn't ask. And then Samgelwe. You can unmute yourself, Samgelwe. Okay. The next one then will be Wenzoguhle. You can unmute yourself. I'm not sure whether we have a system problem or it's
Are
just
they
students
having
are
a
not
problem or it's
answering.
just?
Yeah. Okay, let me open another one. Karabo, you may unmute yourself.
They are saying the mics are disabled.
Oh.
Yeah, but I do. Can you then? Because I do open the mics, I'm not sure why. Or maybe then, Mr. Mohokone, you can assist from your end, because I do open the mics before I call their name. Or maybe then let me allow, I just want to see, Tembega, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Can I go ahead with my question?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to find out because on the bank statement, the correction of 120, it says that correction error. So on our bank record, we are meant to put something that needs to be corrected. However, it was already corrected in our bank statement. Do we still have to put it on a bank record?
No.
No.
Remember, I said anything that showed here. Can you see this was the bank recon? On the bank recon, we were correcting. I think you can unmute again after you if you want to talk again. So remember, we were correcting what the bank did not do on our books. It's already done. So hence I said the 120 and 370, you don't do anything about it. It is not showing on your bank recon. This is my bank recon. It's not showing in there because we instructed them to correct as it was correct in our books. And then they did correct. That is why they were saying then, this is showing now on the bank recon. You can see as well that it was there on the bank recon. They were just explaining the two transactions that were not included before. They are now in the bank recon, which means you don't have to do anything with them. Does it make sense? You can ask again if you need more clarity.
Tembega, are you covered? You can unmute yourself. Okay. Let's take another one. Inshallah, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On number E, can you please go to number E? Yeah, on the unfavorable balance of the bank statement, it was recorded 3,579.7, 0.73 or something, some cents. I want to know whether
Oh, I think it was, sorry. I
It's an
think it was
error.
just a misprint error.
Yeah, it's an error.
Yeah,
of
it was just a
73.
misprint error.
so then does that mean that the balance on the credit side and the debit side are not the same, or what?
I think it was supposed, if like as you're seeing here, it's balancing. So it was supposed to be 3579 on the question, 0.73.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a misprint. I'm sorry about that.
All right, no problem.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We can take Younger. Younger, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir.
Evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
My question is the bank's reconciliation statement will always be the same, or it will change according to additional information we have, question by question?
Okay, the first thing that you must know, the structure of the bank statement, to the structure of the bank recon. You'll always start with your balance per bank statement. That is the structure. I'm just talking about the structure now.
Yes.
So you'll always start with the balance per bank statement. If it's a favorable balance, it will show on the credit side.
Credit side.
If it's unfavorable balance, it will show on the debit side.
Debit side.
Right? And the second thing, you'll have the deposits that have not yet credited by bank or outstanding deposits. The outstanding deposits will always be on the credit side. Then on the debit side, you will have the outstanding checks, which means the payments.
Yes.
The balance, then you'll have a balance per bank statement. It will depend as well. It's the other way around. If you have, because sometimes the students are getting confused by the balance per bank statement and balance per bank account, because if the bank statement one is unfavorable, it goes on the debit side.
Yes, ma'am.
If the balance per bank account is unfavorable, goes on the credit side.
Yes.
So they always go on the opposite sides. But the format, just the format in your head, leave the errors and everything, because those are additional things. You start by the balance per bank statement, then outstanding deposits on the credit side, outstanding checks on the debit side. Then the bank balance, it will depend if it's favorable or unfavorable. When you check this, you can see that you can see that the balance here, it was brought down, because that's where you see. So which means this side of the debit side, it was lesser. Remember, bank is an asset. Assets, they increase on the debit side. So this was short, which means we had a negative. This tells you have a negative bank balance in your books. That is why your bank, you brought down it then now on the credit side. So this is like an overdraft. So we'll always tell you it's either an overdraft or unfavorable. So your bank recon here, the bank statement balance and the bank account balance, it will depend if it's favorable or unfavorable. But the deposits, the outstanding deposits, always on the credit side. Outstanding checks, always on the debit side. The bank statement, favorable credit side, unfavorable debit side. The bank account, unfavorable credit side, favorable debit side. So that is the format. So then the things like the incorrect deposit and those, they will come as an extra things that are happening in the accounts. But the standard format, that is the standard format of the bank reconciliation statement.
Can I just add on top of what
Yes,
my colleague has said? It's important that you don't only do the questions. You
I
go
think you are
back-
cutting, sir.
I'm saying, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mr.
you're
Tendai.
okay now.
I'm saying based on the question and explanation that my colleague is giving, it is important that you don't only concentrate on doing questions. You must go back to study Unit 8. I think under 8.3 and 8.1, they explain what my colleague is saying exactly with the format and everything. So it is important that before you attempt question, please study the study unit so that you are able to understand. Because in the study unit, it is explained, you know, they're even given examples of why certain things are done in certain way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tendai. You may lower your hand, Younger. I'll open the mic for Ike Baker. I hope Baker is the same name. You may unmute yourself. Baker? Okay. Then we'll take the next student is, okay.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Evening,
Yes,
sir.
It's Ian Baker. Baker is the same name. Ian is the name.
Hi, Ian.
Okay. I need to understand the difference between favorable balance and unfavorable balance. Some has like, if it happened, they ask you a question, but they don't specify is it a favorable or unfavorable. So I need to know, how can I know that is a favorable or unfavorable?
I think the lecturers that can answer, but most of the time, if they don't say unfavorable, the assumption is always
It's
a
favorable.
favorable balance.
Yes.
If they don't say unfavorable, if it's unfavorable, we do say, or we say for bank, we say an overdraft, or we put a
Overdraft, yeah.
negative. When you are picking it up from the bank statement, you will see that it has you'll see the side that is favorable or unfavorable, or it's on a negative, or it's on the positive, it's on the debit or credit side.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ian. You can lower your hand then. We'll take Matapelo. Please unmute yourself. Matapelo. Okay, she's gone. Okay, I'll open the mic for F. Brown. F. Brown. Okay, the next one then should be Theodore. I can't see the name there. Theodore, you can open your mic.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Evening.
I just want clarity on the notes that I've been taking, ma'am. I think
Yes.
from my understanding, you said that the bank Recon is an instruction tool we use to tell the bank to correct transactions that don't appear in the previous bank statement they have given us. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now I understand that. And then also for the bank reconciliation, there will always be two balances. There will be a balance for the bank statement, and then at the end, there will be a balance for the bank. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then, so the balance of the bank statement is favorable on the debit side, and the balance of the bank statement is unfavorable on the debit side and favorable on the credit side. And then the balance of the bank account is favorable on the debit side and then unfavorable on the credit side. Is that correct?
Correct. 100%.
Okay. No, thank you very much.
Furthermore, my colleagues or students, just look at, if you allow me to share, I just want to show you something.
Oh, let me stop sharing first.
Yeah, that these things, we are not making them up, you know. If you look at your study guide, page 6 of your study guide, it is explained in page 6 that remember, a favorable bank balance is on the debit side of the bank account. So all I'm saying is, and emphasizing is, I know, and that is tall, and I know the majority of students, we've got all other things to do, but it is important that we also go back to study guide, to study these things, because it becomes easier for us to be able to understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Ntate. I see we do not have any hands from students, and also on the chart, looks like most of the student questions have been answered. So I'm not sure, colleagues, whether you have anything else to elaborate on, or then otherwise then we'll have to end the session, especially if there are no questions from students. Okay, I see there is a hand from Bongani. Let me unmute. Okay, Bongani, you can come in.
Hello, sir.
Thank you.
Hi,
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. Hi, ma'am.
Yes,
You
yes.
continue, Bonga.
Okay, so, like my question is not like about like maybe what we discussed today.
Okay.
It's, I just wanted to ask if, since we've done this part, is there a time where we're gonna like come back and do it again, or like if we're done, we are moving on?
I
Mr.
think when you are done, sorry, sir, when you are done, we're moving on, unless you have a certain specific questions, then you go to your specific sites, your e-tutor, and then
Okay.
you raise more questions there so that you can have a closer interaction as well, and they can answer other questions that you have. Then interact with them to say maybe re-explain this, but as per class, this is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if
okay.
I'm correct, sir.
My understanding, you are correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also get it.
Okay.
Okay, no, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, just to add, yes, you are correct, Makosa. The students are really encouraged to engage their e-tutors on MyUnisa should they have any questions regarding the learning unit. Is it learning unit 10 or 8, the bank
It's 8.
Recon on? Learning
It's
unit
8.
8, yes. Yeah.
8.
And just to add on that is taught, students, we really love if you ask questions on those sides. Interact, there is no such thing as I'm scared, is a stupid question or not. No, ask, then we'll answer. We'll provide you with the adequate answer. Ask, so that we improve the mask for this module. Before you move into this tunnel, there's a student who asked the question, because I kept on saying study guide. They want to know where they can download the study guide.
The study guide is available on the main module site. On the module side, let me put it that way. I'm used to main module site because I've got different sites. I'm just not sure how is it loaded there.
And
but I know
Mr.
that
Stoll,
No,
yes.
sorry, sir.
Study
It is loaded
guide
per units.
is divided per study
yeah.
unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then, Mr. Mahokone, can you please answer the student and how do they download it or access it? Because the question is about that.
Yeah, the student can go to the module site FAC 1502-24-S1 and go straight on the left-hand side. Student can go there and download the study units. Or maybe student can go under additional resources.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Ian, you may unmute yourself before you take it.
Oh, okay, no, thanks. I've been answered because I was asking about those modules because the one that I have, no, when we are talking, when I check and revise it, it's basically different with what you are saying. So I needed to know about the modules where do I get the study guide? So I'm being answered. So thank you.
Okay, thanks. You
Thank
can
you,
lower
sir.
your hand then. Thank you very much. And then I'll open the mic for Ntombi. Ntombi, unmute yourself. Okay. I will then open the mic for Christian. Please unmute yourself, Christian.
Thanks, Ndombi.
On Ntombi, okay.
Yes. Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
So it's just I was asking. Yes, I was asking that do we have a recording for this session, and when will be the next session again? Because it's very interesting and I've learned a lot here.
Yes, recording will be posted under our YouTube channel, FAC 1502. Maybe I'll send the link on the chat. And again, tomorrow is another class for part 2 of study unit 6, which is adjustment. Because last week we did part 1 of study unit 6 adjustment. Tomorrow it will be part 2 of 2, where we'll do a small examples and an exercise.
Okay, so it's gonna be the same time if we started today.
Yes, from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thanks, Ntombi. You can lower your hand. And then Christian. Christian, please unmute yourself. Okay, I will open the mic for you, Nkuna. It's only the initial there, it's not the name. So, Nkuna, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yabo.
I want to ask, where can we get the solutions for the revisions? Because sometimes I try the revisions, but I can't get the solutions under my modules.
Which revision are you talking about?
It was under Unit 6. Let me just check. Let me just quickly check. It was 6.5, revision 6.5. It was a revision exercise.
For study unit 6.
Yeah.
The solution is there under the revision. After revision, we put solution, we put revision exercise. Below, we put solution, suggested solution for that exercise.
Oh, okay.
If you go back to under additional resources, you can see we put exercise and solution for each exercise. We put solution below.
Okay, I'll try and go and check again.
Yeah, please check again.
Okay, if then you are
Thank
unable
you.
to access it, you can always email the lectures then via the module site. They should be able to provide you that.
Okay,
thanks.
thank you.
Thanks. You can lower your hand then. And then the next student will be Fanelo. Please unmute.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I'm also asking a question not related to what we're learning today. So, sir, I would like to know if we'll be able to review our assignments. When will we be able to review the assignment we did to know where we've gone wrong and stuff?
Yes, review of assessment will be done after closing date of assessment 1, which is 2nd of April, due to late registrations.
Also, it has been extended.
Yeah, to late registration students only. Only
Okay,
students who registered after 6 March 2024.
Okay, so thank you.
Yeah, yes, we'll organize a revision class for assessment 1, where we are going to show what went wrong during your assessment 1.
Okay,
Okay.
sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll allow Pumzile. Pumzile, you can ask your question. Please unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hey, just worried that we are on unit number 8, ne? And I just heard, if I'm not mistaken, that I think unit 6, maybe and 7 was done maybe over the weekend. And mostly I check on the announcements and I get emails that there will be a unit that will be done. Like for this one, I got an email and I also went on my announcement and then I got that today we have a class. So I was wondering, how did we get to 8? Because when I was studying my tutorial letter, it was saying 1 to 5 and then 6 to 10. So I just want to make you aware that I don't know, maybe I'm the one missing some of the classes, and with accounting, you need to be in every class. So I don't know what happened there, but some of the notifications we get, some I don't get. I can say that maybe I'm not looking properly.
Yes, we posted the announcement. It was last week. That's why
over the weekend.
For this class and tomorrow class, we posted the announcement last week. It was on Monday last week when we posted the announcements. That's why we advise you to daily check your announcements, because we posted this announcement for these 2 classes last week on Monday. Yeah, that's why it is advisable for you to check announcements daily, on a daily basis, because we communicated earlier.
Sorry, sir, I think the question is, it looks like there was a class over the weekend beside this one. That she's saying there was a class over the weekend and she did not see any announcement for it.
Oh, this maybe it was not from us. Maybe it was from, I don't know, but it was not from us, the lecturers.
So what happened to, maybe, I don't know, what happened to unit 6 and 7 if we are on unit 8? Maybe I am missing something, I'm sorry.
Like tomorrow, last week, it was on the 21st, we did part 1 of study unit 6, which is adjustment. And tomorrow, we'll do part 2 of adjustments. And study unit, it was study unit 10 and study unit 9. We posted videos under our YouTube channel, which is FAC 1502. You can go there and access the recordings for study unit 9 and 10.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mr. Mahokon, regarding study unit 7, because the students are talking about learning unit 6 and 7, or you have not yet covered learning unit 7?
Learning unit 7, also we posted a recording under our YouTube channel.
All right.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, let me now open mic for Nonkosi. Please unmute yourself. Prudence. Prudence. I'm not sure what's wrong there. I will then allow Sipumelele.
Oh, good day, everyone. I would
Okay.
love to ask something regarding the assessment too. I noticed that assessment one was timed for 2 hours, and then assessment two, the instructions was written that there's only going to be one attempt, and the time they didn't show if it's going to be 2 hours or we're going to just like do the assessment without being timed as the first assessment one. I don't know if I'm making any sense with my question.
Yes, all assessments are timed. Even the next one, assessment 2, will be timed. Maybe for 2 hours or less than 2 hours. And it will be
Even though
around maybe 12 questions, 13 questions will decide by Wednesday, whether it will be 10 questions or 13 questions.
So even though like there's no second attempt, we're still gonna just be timed, because like the thing is, the reason why I'm asking is because it's the fear of how I performed the last time. So when they saying now there's no second attempt, so now I'm asking myself, because on the first assessment there was 19 questions and each question was very long. So now I'm panicking for the second assessment, because I don't know how I'm gonna perform this time round, because I haven't even seen like the review of the questions that I've done, like where did I go wrong. So that's why I'm asking this question.
Can I comment, sir?
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
Before you answer,
okay, before,
you know,
before, sorry, Mr. Koza. I saw the hand
Yes,
from the lecture, Mr. Marisa. I'm not sure
Oh.
whether he wants to add something before you come in. Yeah.
Good morning, all.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Mokogonu will assist me. I think for the second assessment, there will be 2 attempts. Thank you.
Mr.
Okay, thanks.
Maresan, on this one, now we still will decide, it's still one attempt. And the second attempt will be the elective assessment 5. But we'll decide maybe tomorrow before we send the announcement. But
thank you for the correction.
the latest information is still one attempt, and assessment 5 will be the second attempt.
Oh, okay. Can I also ask another question? Sorry to waste your time. I just want to like be clear on the part where like when they say there's a negative amount, they say you must put brackets, right? And then I did put brackets and I thought I was doing the right thing. So, and then when I like hearing other students, when you're talking like sharing our ideas, others say they did put the minus sign with the brackets. So now I'm kind of like confused. Wasn't I supposed to like put a minus, not the brackets, or was it supposed to put the brackets and the minus sign all together with the amount?
It will be always, it will be minus with the amount.
So you must put the minus.
Yeah, but the instruction will guide you, but always it's minus sign with the amount. But the instruction, the required will instruct you. But always it's minus with the amount.
Okay,
and if
so
the amount is positive, you just put the amount. You don't put any sign.
you don't put any sign.
Yeah,
so
if the amount is positive.
So to be like sure, you put your brackets and the minus the minus, then the amount. So you can know that.
You put only the minus and the amount, no brackets.
Okay. Because the thing is the instructions that confused me. Like there was a confusion there, and I'm sure like other people also had the same problem as me too. That it was written, if it's a negative amount, you must put brackets. So we did put brackets, but when like you think like you did the right thing, and then like when you get your results, it's something else, and then now you're confused. Like, what did I do wrong? So that's why I'm asking this question.
The problem now is I can't share the Like I can't share the assessment now because it's still open for late registrations to show you.
Yeah.
But always you must put minus and the amount. Don't put the bracket, the amount in brackets. Just put the minus and put the amount.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, don't worry, and
Okay.
you must prepare for the next assessment, which is opening on the 2nd of April at 8
Yeah.
a.m.
Okay.
and closing on the 9 April at 23 p.m.
Okay,
which is
okay.
our assessment tool.
And you must
Okay.
participate in the e-tutor site. You must participate in the e-tutor site and ask questions so that you are able to prepare yourself. We need you to pass this module. Participate
Yes.
in the e-tutor site.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Ms. Koza, you wanted to say something earlier, then. Rachel, it looks like she's no longer here. Okay, Siphumelel, you can lower your hand, and then I'll open the mic for Boitumelo. Boitumelo, please unmute.
Oh, evening class. I've been answered. I wanted to ask about the review. When will we be able to review our assessment one? So I've already been answered. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
for
you.
the review, we'll communicate via announcement, but it will be after closing date of assessment one, which is 2nd of April.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks. You can lower your hand then, Boitumelo.
Mr.
And then,
Koza, you can't hear me, Mr. Joseph?
yes, yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah,
Oh.
I said you wanted to say something earlier. Then.
Oh, okay. I was saying to the students that the tricky thing about these assignments, don't because you have the books at home. So then prepare as if you're going to write an assessment, because what takes away your time is that sometimes when I page through your study guide to see an example, it takes away the time because the time you are given is enough. But prepare as if, keep it in your mind that assessment is the assessment. Prepare as if you're going to write the test in a closed book, because what normally happens that take your time. When now you see a question, you want to page through and find the solution, there is no time allocated for that. It was just an advice that act as if you will write an assessment, as if you're going to write a test. It will help you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, that is a very important point to raise.
Yes, Miss Rachel is correct. Like during assessment, you must stay online for the duration of assessment. If we are saying assessment is for 2 hours, you must stay online for 2 hours. There's no time for you to go and look for answers in the study units. Otherwise, the system will submit it for you. That's why we said you must prepare for the assessment before you write the assessment.
Okay, thanks. I'll allow Pilar Mkabela. You may unmute yourself.
Good evening.
Evening, ma'am.
Evening.
I just need more understanding because I realize I'm repeating the same habit of, bank recon statement. When it says credit balance per bank statement, the 1,724,060 cents. Do we need to put that under, when we prepare our bank statement, bank recon, does that have to go as the opening balance, or it doesn't go anywhere? It's just for clarity. I'm just trying to understand because I'm doing this constantly and I want more understanding.
Okay. Remember when you were you are doing the bank recon, you start with the closing balance. That was favorable, unfavorable. So this was the last month's closing balance. So it was reconciled to 2241 because now they were reconciling it. So you will need to have a bank statement balance for the end of May because this was April.
All right.
So hence we gave it to you down there and said balance per bank statement.
All
So
right.
so this was the closing balance in April. You need the closing balance in May. So that's what we'll give it to you. The reason we show this bank statement is just for not for the balances, but for what happened, like the outstanding, if because it was outstanding, did the bank correct it or not? Because remember, I said the first thing before you go to your books of prime entry, check your bank recon against your bank statement, because the bank recon, it was us instructing the bank to say correct these errors. Then we'll go to the bank statement and see, did you correct it? So the first comparison will be your bank recon that you are given with your bank statement. So the balances, you don't do anything about the balance on the thingy, on the balances, the bank balance and then the bank statement. So you will be given normally, if you check the only balance that will affect, check the bank recon will not, but your bank account.
Yes, I wanted to ask about that.
Yes. So sometimes if we don't give you the bank recon, we're gonna write the bank account balance as per the end of April, so that it will be the beginning of May, because you need to start with it at the beginning of May before you do any transactions for May to come to the final balance.
Okay.
So it's
that's
either
the
of the
most
two. If you are
important
not
amount.
given, sometimes we only there are different ways. We're given the line item, or we can give the the bank balance, like the bank account for the previous year. You'll have to pick up the balance brought down, because it's gonna be your opening balance for the following month.
All right. So if it's on the debit side, especially from last month on April, I still have to put it on my on the bank account. It has to be on the debit side because it's reflected as a debit side.
If it's on the debit side, remember for bank account, when it's favorable, it's a positive balance, it will appear on the debit side. As you see, on our solution, we had it on the debit side as well.
Yes.
As an opening balance. So if it was unfavorable, like an overdraft, it was going to be on the credit side. So you are going to have it in your solution on the credit side as the opening balance there.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Pilar. You may lower your hand. Thanks. And then I'll allow F. Chokwe. I only see the same name there. Please unmute.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Evening.
Yes, I would like to ask about the YouTube. I tried to get to the site. I typed YouTube FAC 1502. It gave me for the ones for 2020 and everything. I was unable to get to the for 2024. I don't know what must I do to get to the right YouTube site.
When did you access the site?
On
Because
the
we
21st
updated
after the
the
class.
site with the new recordings.
Okay, because I checked it on the 21st after the first what you call the class on the 21st of March.
Yes, please go and check again. And if there's a problem, you can send an email to fac1502@unisa.ac.za, because we updated the site with the new recordings.
Okay, and the other thing is,
Mr. Mohakane, sorry. Are you able to share the link on the chat?
Yes, I put the link on the chat.
You
Let's
did?
put
Okay.
it again.
Oh,
I
all right.
already put the link on.
okay.
All right, thanks.
While
You
we're putting
can
the
continue.
link.
Yeah, yes, I put the link now on the chat. They can go and see the link for our YouTube channel.
Okay. The second question is the e-tutor. I don't know maybe I don't know how to use it, because I saw a site whereby an entry, whatever, what you call it, you have to enter there if you want to speak to a tutor. I entered on the 19th while I was having difficulty in accessing my assessment. There was no answer, and I checked later. There was no answer. So I don't know if I'm on the wrong side for each tutor, because I went to my group, and from there I entered on the whatever entry, on the right side there. So I was able to post, but there was no response. It was me alone commenting there. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, where did I post? Then I'm the only one posting there.
Okay, can I take this one? Okay, students, if you have any challenges with your e-tutor, please send us an email. I'll put my email on the chat so that then we can attend to that, because we really want e-tutors actually are employed to assist you with any of your content related queries. That's why we're having these meetings, and they're also allocated to you. So if you have any challenges, please send an email to me, because I'm responsible for this module. Then I'll attend to the e-tutor. Just indicate which e-tutor site you are allocated to. Then I'll know who is the name of the tutor. Then I'll attend to that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. And the last question is that, is this assessment an open book? Let's say, for example, I want to see the element of whatever, so I can open a book and take them. Is
Yes,
it
you
an
can
open
go.
book assessment? Okay.
Yes, you can go and check in the study unit, but that's why I said earlier.
Time.
That's why I said you must stay online for the duration of your assessment, because there is no need to go and look for answers in the study unit, because the system will submit it for you because of time. Because once you open the assessment, the clock start counting. That's why I'm saying you must go there prepared when you open the assessment. Don't open the assessment while you are unprepared. Prepare yourself. When you are ready, open the assessment and write it. Don't write the assessment unprepared.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
You can lower your hand. Then I'll open the mic for Anele. Anele, please unmute. Anele?
Good evening.
Evening, Anele.
Yes, Anele.
Evening.
Yes. Yes, I just wanted to ask regarding those classes. Just like one of students said, I only received a link for today. So, and you are saying there is a class tomorrow. So how will I access that class?
You must go through the announcement, because we posted the announcement last week on Monday.
On the announcement, it's only for today. So I'm using the
Like
same
I'm
link for
saying, we posted the announcement for the class last week on Monday. That's why I'm saying, if you go and read the announcement, you can even check the date of the announcement. Or let me maybe try to share the announcement.
Please.
Let me, Miss Rachel can unshare, so I can share the announcement.
Yes, sir.
Let me share. Let me share the announcement. Can you see my screen?
Yebo.
You see, this is the announcement of Study Unit 8. It was sent on 25. We sent the announcement. It was on 20 March, Wednesday, when we sent the announcement for
Yes, I've
this
got an
class
email.
today.
Yeah, I've got
And
an
the other
email.
announcement we also sent for Study Unit for part 2 for tomorrow class. We sent the announcement. It was when? Let me go. This was, yeah, this is part 2. Also, we sent the announcement on 14, it was 14 March when we sent the announcement for tomorrow class. That's why I'm saying it's very important to check the announcement daily, because we communicated via the announcement on the module site.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mohokon. I think that is clear that student must access the main site and check on the announcement if there is any communication. In any case, all the communication from the lectures is uploaded there. So you guys are really encouraged to access the main site. If you have any questions, then you can send the email directly to the lectures on the module site. I hope, Annele, you have been answered, right? You can lower your hand.
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, thanks. And then the next one will be El Gololo. I don't see the name, they're just the initial. El Gololo, can you come in? Please unmute yourself. Okay, then we'll go to, who's the next one here? It's Katiso. Please unmute.
Hello, good evening to our lecturers and tutors. Thank you for giving me to ask. In fact, it's not a question. I would like to make a humble request to extend the due date for assessment 1, because from the questions we've been getting, it's obvious that most of us were struggling to find our way around my UNISA website and getting access to the study material. So I would kindly like to ask that we get an extension, but this will be the first time and the last time that I'm asking this. Thank you.
Remember, assessment 2 is opening next week. It's opening on the 2nd of April. And also assessment 3 is coming. Remember, this module, we have 7 assessments and 4 of those are compulsory. I don't know whether there is a time between those assessments to, I'm not sure, to open assessment 1 again for you. Then we'll decide and we'll communicate via the announcement on the module side. We'll sit down and we'll send the announcement for your request.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Hello,
you.
I don't know if I can, okay, I can add on that one. I think Katiso has a point, because some of us, like me, I could not access the assessment at all. And the e-tutor, I could not access. So it will be a good idea. I was just adding. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Katiso, you can lower your hand. I'm not sure whether El Gololo, are you available? If not, then I'll have to take Andile. Please unmute. Okay, and then Zandile, you can unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
Zandile.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you
we
so
can
much.
hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to allude on what Pumelele was saying in terms of the assessment, having long questions. And, I tried 2 times and I couldn't finish both attempts. And I know that I had prepared myself, and but just going back and forth, the assessments are not coming up the way that I'm used to for other UNISA modules. The entire assessment is in one page where you have to scroll down. So just the structure of the question it's long paragraphs, and then it's long stories, and then you have a table at the bottom. So as you are attempting to answer the question, so you'll be looking what happened on the 7th, for example, is a transaction. But now for you to go and figure it out, you have to scroll up. So you keep on scrolling up and down the entire time. And that's on its own, you're losing a few seconds every single time you have to go back. So that is what I'd like you guys to reconsider. Maybe put one question and then let the people move to the next page. But putting all the questions in one page, for me, was a real disadvantage. Just because the structure of the assessments is set up in that kind of way, and you can't remember everything that's happened. If there was a transaction on the 13th, on the 17th, on the 30th, and now you have to remind yourself because, the question doesn't ask all of the dates. So you have to remind yourself by scrolling up for almost all the questions.
Okay, you are saying we must put, maybe, let's say, for example, we put question 1 on one page, then the next page must be question
Then we
2.
click, we'll click on next instead of putting everything in one, because that's scrolling up and down to remind yourself, okay, where does this go? Is it the payment journal? Now you're scrolling back up to go and remind yourself what Mrs. Koza had done in her business, and then you go back and you try to fill that number. But now you must calculate, work out the VAT. As you're calculating, the story is leaving your brain. Then you go back to remind yourself again. So for me, I think that was also a disadvantage when it came to time. And I mean, both of my attempts were not completed.
Yes, your query is noted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhokone. Zandile, you can lower your hand then. Ian, please unmute.
I need to know, I need to ask here, because I see some students, the students are posting their numbers asking about the WhatsApp group. So I think it can sound as like a stupid question, but I need to know, is it the WhatsApp group available or what? Because I see they're posting their numbers and say, add me on WhatsApp group, on WhatsApp. So I need to know which group is this.
I do not know. Mr. Mkhokone, do you have a WhatsApp group for this module?
Yes, there is WhatsApp group, but let me check if I can send the link for the WhatsApp group here.
Okay, thank you, please. Because I can see those they are posting their numbers and asking for being added on the group. So maybe the link gonna be far much easier.
Let me check whether I can send the link.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Ian. You can lower your hand then. Yeah, and then the next student will be Mokhadi. Mokhadi.
Evening.
Yes.
I can't see the chats.
You can't see the chat. Do you have something to post there, or you just want to see the chat option?
I just want to see. I'm not able to read the chat.
Are you connected via the phone or laptop?
It's phone.
Yeah, well, it depends. Then on the phone, there should be some dots at the bottom. I'm not sure what sort of one, but you should be able to. It's either at the bottom or at the top. Please try to navigate your phone. You should be able to see the chat because they are not the chat option is not immediately available on your cell phone screen. You need to press something there so that it appears.
Okay.
Okay. Theodore?
Yes, thank you. It's me again. I just forgot the first lady's name. I just want to advise her. She was asking about the minus and the bracket sign, and then I'm sure she was answered that we need to put in a minus sign there. But what I also noticed during while I was attempting the assessment was that I had 3 questions that were incomplete. And the reason why those questions were incomplete, I found out on the second attempt was because some of the questions where you leave blank.
Yeah, Sipesihle, we lost you
that
there.
question.
I couldn't hear.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back, but we couldn't hear what you said, the last part.
Okay, I was just saying that when I attempted the assessment, I got 3 incomplete questions. And then I did the assessment again. I realized that when you don't put in an amount on an open space, on a blank space, then it gives you an incomplete answer. Like, for example, if there's on the CPJ, where you have to put in your bank amounts, your sales, or no, not your salesman, sorry, your purchases, and then for the VAT. If you don't put in an amount there, at least put in 0 or not applicable on the sundry account section. Because if you just leave it open, the system gave me an incorrect answer as an incomplete question. I didn't lose marks there because the instructions clearly say that if you don't put in an amount there, you don't lose marks for it. But you have to put in 0 or not applicable. It helped me the second time around. Funny enough, my marks changed. I got marks for doing that. So I don't know how that was possible. And also, yeah, what also helped me with the time was that I had a book next to me. So while I was reading, I read the instructions. I could see there that they want me to complete an answer for transaction 5. So I just go to the question and then I write my own CPJ on this piece of paper. And then I don't scroll up and down to waste time trying to put in the amounts there individually. You are wasting time when you do that. Just have a piece of paper or a book next to you and then read the question, read the instructions and write down the piece of paper. Then you go back to where you have to input the answers. And then you just input the answers from your book or your piece of paper. It's easier like that and it saves time. And then my question actually is with that 90 rand in the bank reconciliation. That 90 rand which was entered in the bank reconciliation that we corrected. It does not state on the transaction whether that was an error. It only says that the deposit was from another person in our bank. So in the assessment, will they also just say 90 rand was a deposit from another person in the bank? Or will they say that, no, this is an error that we have? It's an error, erroneously deposited.
Because remember, it was mistake made by the bank. And we said...
Yes. And then we just
any
assume that
error-
it's an error.
Any error made by the bank must be corrected in the bank reconciliation statement. That's why the amount was corrected in the bank reconciliation statement.
Excuse me,
we
sir?
did not assume, sir, because I think he's saying we assumed. We did not assume.
We didn't. Yeah, it's not as assumption. It's just the
They
principle.
did say that it's made by another client, which means that client is not relating to us.
To our
So
business.
whenever there's the money, maybe it was like a they did say that.
Oh, by
it's made
another
by
client, meaning it's not us who did that deposit.
Yes.
It's
So
not
that's-
our client, it's not us.
Okay, now I understand. Thank you.
You must Guru, you must ask yourself who made the error. In that case, the error was made by the bank. And if
not
the
by
bank
us.
made the error must be corrected in the bank reconciliation statement. If the error made by us, the business, the error must be corrected in our books, which is CRJ and CPJ.
Yes. Hence, point number D. If you look at number D, that we've made an error in terms of payment. Instead of paying 250, we've paid 520. Then now we are correcting it in our CRJ. Theo?
Okay.
Theo?
Sir, I
Yes,
did not hear that. Please repeat.
I'm saying from what the lecturer is saying, if you look at point number D, an amount of 250,
Yes.
that error was
Yes.
made by us. So for us to be able to
Yes.
correct it, we correct it in our books. The error happened in the cash
Okay.
payments journal. Now we are reversing the amount that we've made as a payment outside. Hence, you will
yes,
see
okay.
the 270.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Understand.
These questions, Theo, we want them at our site, Ituta site. We want them.
Yes, okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I understand now. Thank you.
Shapabuti.
Thank you.
Okay,
You
thanks.
You must also understand this thing of overstated and understated. Because if you overstated in the books, the difference must be corrected in the opposite book. Like you overstated in the CPJ, you must correct it in the CRJ. If you understated, you must correct the error in the same book. If you make understated in the CPJ, you must correct it in the CPJ. Because you must get this thing of over and understated of amounts.
Okay, thank you, Theo. Thank you, colleagues. The next student is S. Mkize. I only have an initial there. Mkize, you can unmute.
Hi, sir. How are you?
We're fine.
All right. Let me just start by saying thank you guys for these classes. As a first year student, and doing accounting for the first time, I'm so confused, and I think the way we are going about organizing these classes is also just sort of adding on to that, because I mean, over the weekend we did Unit 6, and I was on point with that. As much as I have got a couple of things that I did not understand, but I mean, I can always go back by myself and then try to just figure out what's happening. And now we're doing Units 8. We jumped from 6 to 8, and then tomorrow we've got a class again for finishing up Unit 6. That on its own, it's causing one hell of a confusion. Excuse my French. And another thing is that I've had other students saying that asking about the results, if we are going to be able to review our results for the assessment 1, because that will help a lot when it comes to assessment 2. Because you guys are saying that assessment 2 is based from units 1 up until units 10, if I'm not mistaken. So if you don't know where you went wrong on on assessment 1, is it even possible to pass assessment 2 if you didn't do well on assessment 1? Because I'm one of those people who didn't do well on assessment 1. So if I do not have the results for assessment 1, as much as I am positive, I mean, I'm always a positive person, but how am I going to know what did I do wrong on assessment 1, which I can fix on assessment 2? Because assessment 2 is based from units 1 to unit 10. So I don't know,
Our plan was to do review class for assessment 1.
Before the opening of assessment 2?
Before opening of assessment 2.
Okay.
But due to late registrations, then our plan falls away, because now, because of late registration, we decided to open assessment 1 for late registration students until 2nd of April, which is the opening date of assessment 2. Because we can't do review while other students are still writing the same assessment. That's why we said, if you want individual review before we do our class review, you can send us an email, or you can create a Teams meeting with us where you can share your screen and we explain to you what went wrong in your assessment one.
Okay, all right. No,
Yeah, and
I
for
will,
now, you can do that. You can send an email request Teams meeting for
okay.
us so that we can explain to you what went wrong in your assessment one, because due to late registration we can't do review
An open
before.
review.
Yeah, we can't do class for review for assessment before closing date of assessment one.
Okay, no, that's
Sorry, my man. Our plan was to do review exercise, where review class exercise, where we open the assessment and show you what went wrong, because we know many people, according to statistics now, many students struggled with the long question, cash receipts journal, cash payments journal, and the VAT questions, because we noted those ones. Then maybe after, I don't know, maybe we'll send an announcement, but we must do it before closing date of assessment, or after closing date of assessment 2, we must do review exercise for assessment 1 and 2, because
yeah, that'll be awesome, because I mean, if you say assessment 2 is based from units 1 up until 10, if you didn't do well on assessment 1, that's gonna be a big problem. That's gonna cause even more confusion. And also yeah, yeah, I think I will make use of that. I will just send an email, because I didn't do well on assessment 1. Actually, I failed assessment 1. I mean, I was short by 1%. And I really do not know what did I do wrong. Because I thought, I thought I was on the ball, but it just didn't, it didn't happen. So yeah.
Yeah, you can send us an email from tonight and request a Teams meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you are allowed. Yeah, anyone, you can send us an email and request a team meetings where you can share your assessment, and we'll see what went wrong in your assessment.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, if I may come in, Kiza, please make use of your eTutor. If you are really finding it a bit challenging with the module, please make use of the eTutor and the lectures, because if you are not doing well in a particular assessment, say for example, all went well, you did the assessment, you completed on time. However, there are some questions that you couldn't answer correctly, then you happen to get a lower mark. You really need to redeem yourself for the second assessment, so that you need to work very hard so that you get a good mark there. Because now, if you are not doing well, you didn't do well on the first assessment, then you despair, then obviously you're going to be discouraged again to work hard for assessment number 2. So my advice is that assessment 1, you did it, yes, you didn't get a good mark, of which you wanted a good mark, it's fine. But now please redeem yourself and work hard so that then you get a good mark on assessment 2. Remember, this assessment, they built on the previous learning units.
Yeah.
So obviously, for the second assessment, you need a knowledge for the previous assessment. So please make use of your eTutor. Let's rather from our side deal with the issue that maybe your eTutor couldn't assist or is not assisting you. But again, you still have the lectures, like Mr. Mokokon indicated, that you can still reach out to them as well to get assistance.
Yeah, no, thank you, sir, for that. But I think that's another issue. As the other students were saying, that the e-tutors, like you post something there and nothing happens. I know that there was an announcement that said that there's a WhatsApp group, which I also sent my number to say please add me on that group, but nothing happens. But I also remember that in the class that we had over the weekend, we actually discussed that. I think with, I don't know, Miss, I forgot her surname, and she was actually, I mean, looking forward to solve that, to say that the e-tutors are there to help us, but they sort of not doing what they supposed to be doing. So yeah, that's another issue.
Okay, this is what happens. If you are struggling with your e-tutor, I shared my email there on the chat. Normally, this is what happens. If we know that there is one e-tutor who's really not interested or is not attending to student queries, I will normally move you to the tutor that I know that is very active on the side, so that then you get assistance. Remember, our priority is for students to pass. So if, say, for example, your e-tutor is not answering your questions or your queries, please send me an email. If it's still the tutor is not answering the student queries, then we would rather move that student to the e-tutor who's normally very active. And then from our end, we will deal with the e-tutor administratively. But please don't keep quiet when you are not being assisted. Because, for example, this module, there's about 18 e-tutors. So if you don't communicate, you won't know whether the tutor responded to your query or not.
Okay.
So you can send me an email there, and then I will attend to the matter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
I
think
Mr.
we have run
Stolle,
out of time. Yeah.
I sent the link for WhatsApp on the chat.
Okay. All
And
right.
also
I think
student must go back and maybe for general ledger account, for T account, maybe they must go back and revise study unit 5 for T account.
Okay. Yeah, I think we now reach the almost the end of this, because it's 8:02, and I see that we still have how many hands? I think 7. I'm not sure whether all the students are not answered. If maybe you are answered, you can lower your hand. In the meantime, I will allow Pumzile. Pumzile, please just be, you can ask your question so that we
Hi,
can.
sir. I'm sorry, but this e-tutor, I'm a bit confused with it. Is it the same one as the forum? Because I started, I think, using it last week, where I was asking one lecture on ECS, where it's like a chat. You ask a question and then she answers. So I think the way you describing this e-tutor thingy, I think I'd be really interested.
Okay. Sorry to interject. With economics, it's different because in the economics department, they link the e-tutors to the main module site. So with financial accounting, you are linked to a specific e-tutor site. Say, for example, when you select your My Module links on MyUnisa, you will see your main module, which is FAC 1502-24-S1. Then the e-tutor side, it will say FAC 1502-24-S1-1E if your e-tutor group is 1E, or -13E if your e-tutor group is 13E. That is your e-tutor side. That's where you go then under the discussion forums, then you ask your question there.
Okay, because I'm on that. What I see, I only see announcement, additional resources. I don't know, maybe I'll just play around and see where maybe.
Okay, no, maybe then it looks like then that e-tutor has not yet started. Please send me an email indicating to me which e-tutor site you are linked to. Then I'll check tonight. Otherwise, then I'll have to move you to another e-tutor site so that you can be assisted.
And then your email address, I can check it on the tutorial
On the
letter.
chat,
On the chat, okay.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, thank you, because it looks like the way you're describing it, it's very helpful. There are a lot of questions like, this module, it's not up in place. We have a lot of questions and it's not nice not being answered because you end up guessing and it's not nice. So I understand where even Mkhize is coming from. Like, I just want to do that when I always have a question.
Okay, yeah, please send me that email. I will do it tonight.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thanks. I will allow Teboho. Teboho. Okay, the next one then should be Temba. Please unmute. Temba? I'm not sure what's wrong there. And then El Kololo? Please unmute. Oh.
Hello.
Who's speaking now?
Tebogo.
Tebogo, okay.
Yes. My question is, how long does it take to upload the recordings of the classes we have? Because some of us struggle when we get out of work, we get back home late. So we get to attend the class when it's in the middle. Like today, I just got here when you were starting to ask questions.
It takes us only 1 or 2 days because all the recordings were uploaded on our YouTube site. I put the chat. I put the
Okay.
link of our YouTube site on the chat, and also
Okay.
our WhatsApp group on the chat. I put both link on the chat for WhatsApp group and for our YouTube site.
Oh, can you also share the YouTube link on the WhatsApp group? Because I just joined the WhatsApp group.
Let me send it again because I put it on the chat.
Okay.
No,
I'll
I'm
put
talking.
it now.
I'm talking about the WhatsApp group. Can you also please share on the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I put the link of the WhatsApp group on the chat.
Okay, I'll just check it on the WhatsApp.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then one other thing, Tebogo, I think the recording should be available on the chat option here once the meeting is done. I think it does save, Mr. Mokokon, right? It should be saved on the chat option here once the meeting is done.
Yes, it will.
So you can also, as long as you have Teams, you can also access it after this meeting, the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And then I see, I'm not sure what's wrong with El Gololo, whether it's the connection or not. I'll take Ganiso. Ganiso, I think it's supposed to say Ganiso. Please unmute.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Greetings. Sorry, maybe I'll be asking the question that have been asked previously. I was having a connection problem. I just wanted to check on my side. Say, when are you gonna upload the review, as I want to revise, as the assignment 2 is going to consist from unit 1 to unit 10. So I want to check and also continue revising the work so that it will be fine with me from assessment 1.
Yeah, that one I said our plan was to do review class before we open assessment 2. But due to late registrations, our plans falls away because now we decided to open assessment 2 for late registration students until 2nd April, which is the opening date of assessment 2. And we can't do review class while other students are still writing assessment 1. And sorry for that, man. But I said, if you want to do review, if you want to review your assessment 1, you can call us and ask for team meetings where you can share your assessment and we can help you with the review of your assessment 1. But the review class maybe will be after, maybe let's say after 2nd of April. Maybe we'll put an announcement.
Okay, thank you, sir. As long it's before the closure of the second assessment, I think that will be great. I'll be able to revise the assessment 1.
Yes, but in the meantime, you can create a Teams meeting with us so that we can help you with the review.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that one. I'll do so.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kaniso. Temba. Temba. Okay, let me open the mic for Nokwe. Please unmute. Sipele. Okay. Ian.
Okay, thanks. I need to add on the lady who just talked right now and also to ask Mkize what he said earlier on about the reviews and the assessment open of second assessment open on the second and the closure of the first assessment on the second also. So my suggestion I think is says how about you extend the dates for closure for assessment number 2 in order to accommodate for 1 day or a single day for reviews for assessment 1. Because when you say they have to create the teams with you guys, I remember Ms. Caesar said there's a 16,000 something students who are registered for these modules and we all need the reviews. So imagine the line that we're gonna do, and when you do one-on-one, it's gonna take a lot of time. Imagine when you've got 500 people, 500 students following and waiting on a waiting line to get the reviews one-on-one. So it will be up until end of closing date of up until closing date of assessment 2, and others will never even get the answers. And as I said, they say this assessment 2 is from 1 up until 10 units. So you have to review first assessment in order to get to assessment 2 to know that what you're going to answer. Because possibly they can ask you a question in assessment 2 that was based on assessment 1, but because of there's no reviews on assessment 1, you're again struggle once more. So I think, how about you extend the days, maybe 2 or 1 days, 3 to 1 day for closure for assessment 2, in order to accommodate the review for assessment 1 during the days after the open of assessment 2. Because now the one-on-one, I think it won't work, because there will be a queue, and some other student will be struggling and frustrated because they will never be answered, while they're still waiting for another student to be answered, because those questions are 19 questions. On top of 19 questions, I think there's 8 or 9 questions that are tables and questions, CPJ, CRJs, on all the stuff. They need to answer that. And we took time to understand. We are not the same. So some will take 1 hour to understand. You have to explain thoroughly, step by step, understand and make the person to understand. Then you move forward to another student. Imagine how long it's gonna take. And that time, when they are still waiting for them, I review first assessment, the time limit for second assessment is closing. The moment when I'm still waiting, I find out that the closing date for the assessment 2 is closing on the 9th. So when it closes on the 9th, they're not going to happen. I have to rush and do the assessment. So how about you guys just do 1 day review, then everyone must be here and accommodate everyone at the same time like you do right now. Then that would be easier, and can be some other students won't be struggling. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Yes, I'm looking on my calendar now. Maybe we'll do the review maybe on the 3rd of April, which is Wednesday. But we'll send an announcement, because assessment 2 is opening on the 2nd. Maybe on the 3rd of April we'll do a review of assessment 1.
Okay, I'll appreciate that, because that will gonna be helpful, because now the one-on-one it won't work, because imagine when they took their time from morning, you're also human, you have to do things, some sort of you have to do some errands. So imagine from morning you've been on the phone, busy with the answering the questions the whole day for 24/7, you'll be doing the same thing. So it's gonna be easier to do it like that way.
I'll put the date on the chat.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
And also put it on
the,
please, can you please just put it on announcements, because some other people.
Yeah, we'll send an announcement.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, colleagues. As we overlapped by 15 minutes now, so I'm not sure if there are any pertinent questions from other students. Otherwise, we need to close the meeting. Nokwe, I'm not sure because it's. Are you able to speak now, or she's leaving? El Gololo, I'm not sure whether you are able to speak now because you raised your hand earlier and you are raising it again. El Gololo? Sure. Would have loved to hear your question and assist you. I'm not sure whether it's a problem with your connection. Please then send an email to the lectures regarding your question or engage your e-tutor because I'm not sure whether the connection is it's on your side or not. And I think the last one should be Matambela. It should be the last. Please unmute. Okay, Mr. Mokokon, I think we have come to an end and then you can close the session.
Hey, sir. Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yo, finally. I was asking that since, well, Unit 7, 9, and 10 are uploaded on the YouTube channel, will there be class for those ones?
Because assessment 2, this is the last week before we open assessment. Before we open assessment 2, there will be another class tomorrow. And maybe on the 28th, it will be Thursday. Maybe it will be revision for assessment 2. Because as I said previously, for other study units, we posted and we posted the videos on our YouTube site. I don't think there will be any class for study unit 7, 10, and study unit 7, 10, and 9.
Yes, I was referring to those.
Yes, for those ones we posted. For those ones, there's recordings on our YouTube channels. For those study units you mentioned.
Okay, so it means that if we have questions, we just have to refer to our e-tutors then.
Even us, you can even send to us.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahokone, I'm not sure, do you take other students or you close? Because otherwise you're not gonna finish.
It's how many students?
No,
let's take
Nokwe? Nokwe, you can unmute. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Matambele?
Hi, can you please resend the WhatsApp link?
Can you please, it is there on the chat option. Please check there. Yes.
I'm trying to scroll, but I can't see it.
No, you will get it. Just scroll up. It's there.
Okay, thank you.
If then you are unable to locate it, please send an email to the lecture. Or Mr. Mohokone, please upload it or attach it for the last time. Flora. Okay, Noko, you can come in.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, we're listening.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I don't know. I've been trying to unmute my mic. I was going to request the WhatsApp link. Thank you. I have seen on the chat.
Okay.
It was not appearing.
Okay, Mr. Mohokone will upload it not long.
It's now appeared. I sent the link on the chat.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you, sir.
Sipelel. Thanks. Flora? Flora, please unmute. Okay, Mr. Mokokon, I think you can close the session now. Mr. Mokokon?
Mr. Sitole, is Mr. Maraisane around?
Let me see.
Yes, I'm still around.
Maraisane?
Hey,
can you close the session?
Oh, okay. I would like to thank the participation of our main clients, who are the students, and our presenters for today. I think it was a beautiful session. So we want to say thank you to all, and particularly in the caller for handling the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. Yeah, the session is adjourned. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, bye.
Thank you very much, lecturers, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Too.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
All the best. Bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Thanks for conference.
Yeah, you can answer to all of them.
Thank you. Bye.
I'm so tired. I had a long day. But it's nice.
Thank you so much, lecturers. Thank you so much, Mr. Stolle.
Thank you.
For this opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank
yeah,
you.
Mr. Mohokon, you can stop the recording.